Hi, and welcome to Movement Mondays. I'm Alex Weaver. For today's class, we are streaming from my laptop instead of my phone. So let me know what you think of the difference in video quality this week. Just trying out something different. For today's class, all you're going to need is yourself, a yoga mat or a towel, or just an area of the floor that's comfortable to do exercises on. Your water, and then a chair that is sturdy enough to hold your body weight, or a stair. So I'm gonna just make sure everything looks good. And like I said, I've swapped. So instead of streaming from my phone and checking on my computer, I am checking on my computer and streaming. I am streaming from my computer and checking from my phone. So bear with me if we have any technical difficulties today. For today's class, we are streaming from my laptop. So instead of streaming from my phone, clearly we can. Clearly the stream is working, so awesome. So let's share that. Awesome, so go ahead and grab your water, yoga mat, whatever you need for today, and we'll get started in just a moment. All right, so 1 second and we'll get started. So as I said, I'm Alex Weaver. Welcome to Movement Mondays. For today's class, all you need is a yoga mat or a towel or an area of the floor that is comfortable for you to do exercises on, and then a chair or a stool that is sturdy enough to support your weight and your water. So like I said, I've switched my setup for today. So instead of being on my computer and phone, I switched which one is streaming, so it might take me a second to make sure this is actually streaming where it should be. So hold on 1 sec. All right, so I think we're good. Okay, so we're going to start today with some Cadence Box Breathing. So go ahead and find a comfortable spot on the floor, and we are going to do a 3-3-6-3 cadence breathing. You can also do this laying if you want to lay on your back, if you want to sit in a chair, whatever is comfortable for you. Totally fine with me. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to breathe entirely through our nose for this. So I've talked about in previous classes how when I say take a deep breath or breathe deeply, I mean breathing down into your belly. So a helpful way to tell if you're breathing into your belly is actually you can take one hand and put it on your belly, one hand and put it on your chest. And when you inhale, try to fill your belly before you let your chest rise. So breathe, if you're inhaling, breathing into your belly, feeling that expansion, and then filling your chest. And then as you exhale, in reverse, chest falls and then belly falls. So for this particular drill, I'm going to count aloud for you, so you don't actually have to count. We're going to do a 3-count inhale, a 3-count hold, a 6-count exhale, and a 3-count exhale hold. So that's 3, 3, 6, 3. So the longest part and most difficult part is probably going to be the exhale, because it's double the length of the rest of the sides of the box. And then the exhale hold, because most of the time when we pause in between breaths, we're not actually conscious of the fact that we're pausing in between breaths. So it might feel a little bit weird to be aware that you're pausing in between breaths as opposed to at the top of the breath. But Trust me, it's gonna be great. So we are going to do 2 minutes of box breathing with this cadence. And so take a couple deep breaths. Remember, we're breathing through our nose if possible. Breathing deeply into your belly. And especially for the exhale, it's helpful to exhale slowly. So if you empty out all of your breath right away, it's gonna feel a little more challenging to do that 6 count. So just try to pace yourself and think, okay, I'm gonna be inhaling for 3, holding for 3, exhaling for 6, holding for 3. So go ahead and we're gonna start in 10 seconds. So a couple regular breaths. Inhale, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, hold, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 3, 2, 1. Last one. Inhale, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 3, 2, 1. Great job. Okay, so notice how your body feels. It may feel like you're a little calmer than you were a few minutes ago. You might feel a little bit energized. You might feel exactly the same. Whatever it is, just notice it. And we're going to start with a warm-up. So go ahead. If you're seated on the floor, you can go ahead and just turn over. If you aren't, go ahead and head to the floor onto your yoga mat or towel. And we're going to start in a tabletop position today with some cat-cows. So hands are going to be under the shoulders, knees under the hips. We're going to inhale, drop the belly, look forward. Exhale, chin to chest, spine towards the ceiling. So we're going to do a set of 5 here, nice and slow. Perfect. So staying in this tabletop position, we're going to do 6 bird dogs per side. So come back to a neutral spine. You're going to take opposite arm and opposite leg and extend. If it feels uncomfortable for you to do both, start by just extending your leg and coming back. If you can do that comfortably, then you can try extending opposite arm, opposite leg, and then coming back. So we're going to alternate sides for 6 per side. So take your time with these, and if you are trying to think of when you should breathe with these, inhale as you reach, exhale as you contract your core to come back to center. Good. Okay, so from here, we're gonna flip onto our backs. So we're gonna do feet hip width apart. And we're gonna do some glute bridges. So you wanna make sure your shoulders are tucked so that they're nice, they have nice contact with the ground. Feet are gonna be hip width apart, shins facing forward. You're gonna engage your core so that your back is flat to the ground. And then squeeze your glutes and your hamstrings to come up. Hold for 2 seconds and come back down. So you don't have to arch your back to get up. As a matter of fact, it's better if you keep your core braced here. So with your breath, you can either inhale coming up, exhale coming down, or vice versa. But try to move with your breath here and keep that core engaged. So we're gonna do this at 12. All right. So when you finish those, go ahead and come to a seated or standing position, your choice. And we're gonna do some arm circles. So I'm gonna stand and I'm gonna just do some nice big circles going forward first. So deep breaths, keep breathing here. Maybe make your circles a little smaller. And then go ahead and switch directions. We're gonna go backwards, so reverse, whichever way you were just not going. Maybe make those circles a little smaller. And then feel free to shrug your shoulders a few times. Maybe squeeze your shoulders up towards your ears, then release. Maybe roll the shoulders a few times. And then find a comfortable squat position. It might be a little bit wider than your normal squat stance. So if you're not familiar with squats, at least hip width apart, if not wider. So you're gonna come into a deep squat position. You can put your hands on the ground. It's okay if you're here, if that's where you are, that's fine. Hang out there. You can put your elbows on the insides of your knees and press out against your knees. And just kind of shift back and forth a little bit. Again, if this isn't what your squat looks like, that's okay. Just listen to your body and go to what feels good. So we're gonna sit here for a few more seconds, and we're gonna come up into a hamstring stretch. And then back into that deep squat. Try to keep your chest up and open if you can. And again, you can press out against your knees. You can shift back and forth a little bit here. And then when you are ready, go ahead and come back up into that hamstring stretch. And then roll it all the way up. And then if you can, if it feels comfortable, come into a plank position. You can also do kneeling. So whichever's comfortable. You're gonna bring one leg forward. Again, that back knee can be on the ground if you want. And you're gonna open up toward the leg that's forward, getting that thoracic rotation. Hold for a second and then come back down. Switch which leg is forward. And then opposite side, same thing. So let's do 3 total per side. Again, you can put your back knee on the ground if that feels more comfortable. Perfect. So last but not least, you can bring your knees a little bit wider and sit back into extended child's pose. Get a nice little stretch here. Maybe take a few breaths. And then grab some water. Stretch anything else you feel like you need to stretch. So for today, we're going to do like we have the last few weeks. So I'm going to show you the movement. We'll do it. So for each item in this first circuit and the second circuit for that matter, we'll do it together. And then I'll demonstrate, we'll do it together, and then we'll move on to the next thing. The second time through, since you've already done the movements, we'll just go straight through it. So circuit 1 today is Clam Shells, single leg RDLs, Pike Push-Ups or YTAs, and a 6-inch hold. So these are all going to be 30-second rounds. So let me just double check. Perfect, we're all set. Okay, so 30-second rounds here. So we're starting with Clam Shells today. So if you have a yoga mat or a towel, you're going to want to lay on that. You're going to lay on your side. Knees are bent and stacked. Ankles are stacked. The side you are laying on, that arm can be extended out in front of you or under your head, whatever's comfortable. You can give yourself a nice little head cradle here if you want. I like to take my hands and put it on the outside of my hip so that I'm not making sure that I'm not rotating, because you want to stay laying on your side. So when you're opening up for these clamshells, you want to really activate the outer hip and then come back. You're not trying to roll open here. So this is actually a pretty small movement. So we're going to do 30 seconds per side, and then we will move on. So 10-second countdown. Go ahead and get into position if you are not already. We will switch sides in just a moment. And go. If you'd like to give yourself a little resistance, you can push against your hand a little bit. Makes it a little more fun. Great job. So switch sides, same thing, opposite side, 10-second countdown. And go. All right. Perfect. So next up in circuit 1, we have single leg RDLs or single leg balance. I believe we did these last week actually. So single leg balance, couple options. You can just stand with your toes hovering, or you can bring your leg up, really engage your core. Single leg deadlifts. And also if you feel like you need to be close to a wall or a chair, feel free. For single leg deadlifts, we're standing on one leg, slight bend in the knee, hinging at the hip, other leg comes with the torso back, and then back through. So I'm really trying to feel that tension in my hamstring and my glute of the leg that I'm standing on. So either one of those is fine. Again, I'm going to demo just this way. So core is engaged, knee is going to bend slightly, hinging at the hip, and coming back. So we're going to do 30 seconds per leg, same thing, 10-second countdown. And go. job. So 10-second countdown, switch legs. And go. All right, good job. So next up, we have Pike Push-Ups or YTAs. So YTAs, I'm going to start with. We've done these before. You are laying on your stomach. Head is resting on the ground. Legs are resting on the ground. The only thing moving here is your arms. So you're starting in a wide position. You're going to lift your arms up by squeezing your shoulders back to the ground, shifting on the ground to a T position, squeezing to come up, back down, shifting to an A, Y, up and back down. So Y, down, T, and A. So that is one option. The other option is maybe piked push-ups. So, well, Adi, you're going to demonstrate? I don't think you are. Okay, we got buddy. So you can go relax right there. Go here, go here. Go ahead. It's okay, it's okay, go here. Thank you. Okay, so if you're doing pike push-ups, you're gonna start in almost downward dog, but it's a little easier if you're up on your toes. You can look towards your feet, and then you're gonna lower your head toward the ground and press through your shoulders. So again, lowering, pressing through those shoulders. So either option is fine. We're gonna do 30 seconds here. 10-second countdown. And go. Great job. So last but not least in this circuit is going to be a 6-inch hold. So for a 6-inch hold, you're going to lay on your back. You can put your hands under your butt if you want. I would start with your legs up. Make sure your back is pressed to the floor. And then lower to your level of comfort, right? So for some people, it might be here. And for some people, it might be closer to the ground. So you want to keep your core engaged so your back isn't arching. It helps to have your hands under your butt if you feel like your back is arching up off the ground. But you can also, if you want to just put them on the floor next to you, you can. So 10-second countdown. And go. Great job. So that is circuit 1. So we're going to go back through that whole circuit in about 45 seconds. So grab some water, and then we're going to repeat that whole thing. Feel free, if you did YTAs and you want to try pike push-ups or vice versa this round, switch it up. Or if you did single leg deadlifts and you want to try single leg balance instead, whatever works for you. So we'll rest for about 30 more seconds, and then we'll repeat that round. right. So we're back to starting with those clam shells. So 10-second countdown. Remember, you want to make sure that you're opening through the hip and you're not just turning your torso for these. So 10-second countdown. Also make sure you're engaging your core here. And go. All right. And then switch sides, 10-second countdown, same thing. Great job. All right, so next up we have single leg RDLs or single leg balance. So I did RDLs last time and I'm going to do single leg balance this time. 10-second countdown here. And go. And switch sides, same thing, opposite leg. And go. Great job. Okay, so next up you have your Pike Push-Ups or YTAs, your choice. I'm going to stick with the Pike Push-Ups again. So 10-second countdown. And go. Great job. So last but not least here, we have a 6-inch hold or wherever is appropriate for you. So it may not actually be 6 inches above the ground. So 10-second countdown. Remember to keep breathing here. A lot of people have the tendency to hold their breath when they're bracing their core. Try to keep breathing. Great job. All right, so that was circuit 1 today. So that was actually a pretty quick circuit because we broke a lot of it into 30-second segments. So circuit 2 is going to be, excuse me, a little bit longer. So we're going to do 45-second rounds for circuit 2. Circuit 2 today consists of sumo squats, push-up negatives, lateral lunge or side-to-side steps, and a Spider-Man plank. So grab a sip of water. I'm going to talk us through a sumo squat. So this is where if you feel like you have a chair or a bench that you want to use, it might come in handy. So sumo squats, you're just going to take your regular squat and you're going to make it wider. So if your regular squat stance is about here, you're going to walk your feet out a little more, maybe point your toes out a bit, and you're still going to sit back into your hips and let your knees come forward. So you're still, so from the side, I'm still sitting back into my hips, knees are coming forward, but you're just getting that wider stance here. So if you feel like balance is an issue with these, you can always, see how I have this bench position behind me? You can always squat to a bench. So if you need to sit, you can sit, and you can actually stand up. So you can make these almost like a sit to stand, as opposed to just like a straight up squat, if that feels more comfortable for your body. And if you want to modify these into a more narrow stance, that's okay too. So we're going to do 45 seconds here. Hi, buddy. And then, again, just modify these as you need. So a 10-second countdown here. All right, so 45 seconds here. Pace yourself. All right, great job. So second in this group today, we have push-up negatives. So we've done these before, and you can still modify these to whatever variation of push-up you prefer. So if you do push-ups on a wall, for example, you can still go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then reset. If you do incline push-ups in a chair, you can still slowly lower and reset. The big difference is going to be if you're doing them on the ground. So as you are lowering yourself to the ground, hi buddy, hi. As you're lowering yourself to the ground, you're just going to go as slowly as possible, and then you're going to reset. So if you are also working out with pets at home, they might give you kisses on your way down, if you're lucky. So anyways, so again, whether you're kneeling, incline, or whatever, what you can do here is slowly lower yourself down, and then instead of pushing back up, you can reset by bringing your whole body back up to the start position. So we're focusing on going as slowly as possible on the way down to the ground for these. Try to remember, keep that tension in your chest. Keep your elbows at like a 45-degree angle, so you don't want them up here. You don't want your shoulders up by your ears. You want your shoulder blades tucked down and back, and really trying to keep that core engaged and tension in the chest. So we're going to do 45 seconds of these, 10-second countdown. Thank you. And go. Great job. Okay, so next up, you have side-to-side steps or lateral lunges. So side-to-side steps are pretty self-explanatory. So you are just going to shift side to side, almost like a skater without the jumping. So this is option 1. Option 2 is going to be a lateral lunge. So you're going to find a nice wide stance if you're doing a lateral lunge. You're going to sit back into your hip and shift over. So if I'm shifting to my left, I'm sitting back into my hip, shifting over, coming back to center. Shifting, coming back to center. So each time you're sitting back into your hip. You're not just coming forward into the knee. You're sitting back into your knee and then shifting back. So we're going to do 45 seconds of either of those. Your choice. And go. Great job. So last but not least here, we're going to do a Spider-Man plank. So we're going to come back to that push-up position. You can do this also on a wall or on a chair if you want. So on a wall, it looks like this. You're bringing knees to elbows. At an incline, extremely similar. Hands maybe on a chair, bringing knees to elbows, alternating side. And then lastly, and most difficult, would be on the ground. And you can be on your hands or your forearms. And you're going to, hi buddy, bring knees to elbows, alternating sides. So your choice here, we're going to do 45 seconds, 10-second countdown. And go. Hi, buddy. Great job. So grab some water. We're going to repeat all of those. Good job, buddy. Amy has been working on his assistant coach skills, namely that he's learning how to maybe demonstrate his own dog movements out of the way of the human movement class. But you can vote in the comments about whether or not you think he's improved or not. He's still in training, I would say. All right, so a few more seconds here. So for those who forgot what circuit 2 was, like I might have just done, circuit 2 is a sumo squat, push-up negatives, lateral lunge or side-to-side steps, and a Spider-Man plank. So we're going to start in just a second with those sumo squats. Thank you, buddy. So go ahead and get ready. We're going to have a 10-second countdown here. And go. Great job. So push-up negatives. 10-second countdown here. And go. All right. So lateral lunges or side-to-side steps. 10-second countdown. Great job. So last but not least, we have a Spider-Man plank, and then 2 more things and you're done for today. So 10-second countdown, and we are Spider-Man planking. Go. Great job. Grab some water. We have 2 more things and then you're done for today. Whew. So those of you curious as to what our last 2 things are, we're going to do 30 seconds of suitcase sit-ups and 30 seconds of dead bugs, and then you are done for today. So suitcase sit-ups. Grab your water. I'm going to take a sip before I explain this. but you are almost done, which is great news. Okay. So suitcase sit-ups. You are going to start with your heels on the ground, feet up, lean slightly back like you would for a Russian twist. And if you can lift your legs, you can even start holding your legs like this. And then you're going to extend as far as you can, and then come back. So if you need to, each time, you can grab your legs in between, but you want to try to keep your chest open. So see how I was just rounding forward? Try to keep your chest open. So ideally, you're coming back and up, keeping a nice open chest. We're going to do 30 seconds here. Take breaks as you need. Again, you can pause by literally just grabbing your legs. And yeah, 10-second countdown. All right, so last but not least, we have dead bugs here. So for these, you are going to lay on your back. You have a couple options. Option one is going to be making sure your back is pressed firmly to the ground, not arching. Thank you, buddy. You can bring both of your legs up. Arms can stay at your side, and you can just tap your toe to the ground. Try not to let your back arch, keep that core engaged. Option two is going to be bringing both arms up, opposite hand to opposite leg. So one side is moving, switching like such, or the most complicated and requires the most coordination is going to be all limbs up, opposite arm, opposite leg, keeping that low back pressed to the floor by engaging your core. So we're going to do 30 seconds here, and then you are done for today. So 10-second countdown. And go. And that is it for today. So, as always, thank you for coming to Movement Mondays. I'm Alex Weaver. I'm a coach and owner of Alien Athletes. Thank you to Thundermist for sponsoring this class. Thank you to my assistant coach, Katie Waffles Weaver, who is still in training. And yeah, thank you to everyone who comes to this class. This class happens every Monday at 6 p.m. If you've taken this class previously and you have a comparison point as to the quality of video, let me know, because I'm trying to decide whether I should switch from streaming this class on my phone to my computer. So again, thanks for putting up with my technical difficulties at the beginning. And let me know if you feel like today's stream was better or worse quality in the comments, if you don't mind. Yeah, so anyways, thanks for coming to today's class. Again, I'm Alex Weaver. Thank you, Thundermist, for sponsoring this class. And I will see you all next Monday, same time, same place. Have a good week.